I'm Jen.
And I'm Craig, and this is the Knot Project.
Welcome to our first edition of 30 Days to Closer Progress Report. So, just to let you know, Craig and I totally nailed day one. We were committed to this project, which is really good since we're writing it. We were ready to and prepared, totally excited to start off strong. And then day two happened. And just to refresh your mind, day two, the challenge is from day two to the rest of the month. Whenever you see your spouse, you walk in the door from work or whatever, you put down your stuff, stop what you're doing, go find your spouse, give them a kiss and tell them, I love you. Doesn't sound too hard until it is.
Yeah, so life happens, and on that particular day, I received some bad news that we're working through, but so I was really focused on that. I was focused on what we were going to do and how we were going to deal through that. So it made it difficult to keep my mind focused on the 30 days to closer. But like any habit, it's really important to keep that in the forefront of your mind and do not get too distracted from it. So I've been very intentional with that the past few days after a gentle reminder
Or a meltdown.
Yeah, it wasn't really a meltdown, but it was
a meltdown internally for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I was ready to toss the project. Honestly, because the news was so overwhelming. It affected us both. And we deal with crises very differently. Typically, especially in the when we first get news about something, I am a come towards kind of person. So all I wanted was for Craig to come in the door, for him to tell me that he loved me and hold me, and then I would have reassurance. We really are in this together. And I think that when he didn't do that, it reactivated all of these old fears that I'm going to have to figure this out on my own. Like, I'm going to be alone and dealing with these emotions because he's going to go back into self-reliance and independent behaviors. And so to me, I just felt like, oh my gosh, like how are we going to do this? And then if we're not connecting in a crisis, how are we going to connect at all? You know? And so I was really ready to just throw in the towel. Usually I'm much more of a perseverer, but apparently not on day two.
And just as an aside, what it really exposes, and as a good example to share with you guys, is how different people process information. And like Jennifer alluded to, she's an outward processor. So when something happens, she wants to talk about it, she wants to communicate, she wants to really kind of get it out. I'm an inward processor, so what I want to do is I want to withdraw and I want to kind of chew on it and think about it for a little bit before I process, because it's hard for me to communicate what I'm feeling or what's really going on because I don't really know yet. She comes to that place through the discussion and through bouncing it off of me and just processing it out loud. So if you don't know that about each other, it can make things very difficult and you can misconstrue what's happening. And so for Jennifer, what she was interpreting from me is also what I tended to do. Was I was a kind of a bury the stuff, the emotions way down kind of person growing up, and I've made some strides in that. And what she was interpreting is this was really impactful, and she didn't want that to come back. So I've made some progress there, and it was kind of a combination of, okay, I need to compartmentalize this so I can still function. But it was also the other element of, I really need to kind of process this and think about what this really means for me and for the family. Mm-hmm. So I've got to remember to communicate that to her and say, remember, okay, listen, I'm not regressing, I'm really processing, right. So she doesn't freak out. Just as an aside, so you can take that as it is, but go ahead.
Yeah, so I think that it's really important when there is a crisis to, instead of giving into fear or shutting down or saying we're going to just put all of our energy on the crisis and forget about continuing our connection, just it's not the right path, at least for us right now, because we both need each other in the moments of crisis. And if we let our lives be consumed by whatever things are going wrong in our relationship, or not really in our relationship, but at work, or with our extended family, or with financial stuff, or whatever, if we let that become the focus, if the crisis becomes the focus, then we're going to lose the connection that God intends for us to help sustain each other. And that's why I think it's so important that we really do the day 4 of this week too, which is praying for our spouse. And it's so cool how God I just kind of went through the cards, the Marriage Matters cards, and said, Lord, what should we pick for our first prayer card? And the peace one was what I really felt drawn to. And we didn't know how much we were going to need that peace card, and how much we would need to pray for each other, for the anxiety to be silent and to find peace in God, even though our circumstances are crazy and chaotic and make us feel out of control. So our meltdown is over, thank goodness, and we are recommitted. Well, he was never not committed. I've recommitted myself to maintaining this process and maintaining connection even in crisis, because I feel like that's where God's going to get so much of the glory, and we're going to benefit a lot. So thank you guys so much for listening. Did you want to say anything else?
No, I think we're good.
All right. Okay. We will see you guys next week. And we'd love to hear what's going on in your neck of the woods for your 30 days to closer. See you soon. Bye.